Okay guys, so what we're going to do here is take a look at basically an image that has squares that have different color casts. Now this is very similar to what we've done in previous classes where we've color corrected individual squares, but what we're going to do here is try to do all in one document. So what we're going to do is, like before, we're going to identify the casts, and you may recognize the fact that the casts are similar, but what we have is basically a neutral target. So if I look at my RGB right up here, I'm getting 127 red, green, and blue of equal amounts. So I'm going to put a sample point there. So I know this is neutral. Neutral gray, white, and black. My second square is red 127, green 125, and then blue 112. Blue being the lowest. The absence of blue light is basically more yellow light, and I know this is yellow cast, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. The next thing I'm going to look at is this, the third square. And basically, because red is the lowest, this is a cyan cast. So red being 118. And then my final, green is the lowest, therefore it's a magenta cast. Alrighty. So what we've done before is we've grabbed the curve, and ultimately we've done it very globally. Now you could theoretically do the same thing. I could come in here with a marquee selection tool and make a box like this. Click on my mask. I'm sorry, click on my curve adjustment layer. Go into the channel itself. I've already automatically created the mask from the selection. Go to the channel and add a little bit of blue until those numbers equal out. Now that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it, which is a little bit more precise, is, whoopsies, that's quick mask mode, we don't want that, is using a hue saturation layer. Now the hue saturation layer allows you guys to actually go in and isolate and change colors in very controlled ways. So hue sat is right here. Of course you can go to up to, layer, new adjustment layer, or come down to the little two half circle thing down here. But anyway, hue sat, and hue sat can go into different channels. So the way the hue saturation tool works, I'm just going to do this, is I can change the hue of the document. So see how it's shifting the colors so they look a little different. Back and forth. Double click on this and it'll reset. Or just click reset down here. I can lower the saturation, so it basically removes the color. Or I can, change the lightness, so darken or lighten, or lower or increase density. Now, that's in the master channel. Like curves, we can split everything in individual channels. Now, unlike curves, I actually have all 6 channels of light, so red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow. So if I've identified a cast, I can go into this particular channel and adjust it. So I go to my yellow channel. I'm going to ultimately lower my saturation of that particular channel. So what I'm going to do is click on my eyedropper. This is the most important thing. A lot of people miss this part. So when you're using this, you want to ultimately basically click on the eyedroppers down here. And what that does is it kind of creates a selection for you. So when I grab the add to sample with a plus eyedropper, and I click on my point, what it's ultimately doing is saying everything in this particular range down here will be selected and adjusted. So if I lower my saturation, you'll see that this number 2 is affected. And if I take a look over here, red, green, and blue are almost equal. I can keep going a little bit more, and they're equal. Now you'll notice that cyan and magenta aren't affected. Now I can go into my cyan channel, do the same thing. There goes cyan. And then I can go into my magenta channel, and I can lower my magentas. There you go. What I'm left with is ultimately neutral. Now, yes, I understand that you could have technically gone through here and the master channel, but not every image is going to have cyan, magenta, yellow in it. So that is just an exercise in how this works. So this tool allows you to ultimately select a range of colors and adjust them. Now, I can also adjust density, so I can increase or decrease the density of this particular square because I'm in my magenta channel. It's still working on magentas. Notice that it's not adjusting the density anywhere else. So there you go, guys. That is the hue saturation tool to try and remove a local color cast. Now, this works particularly in an image where you don't have pigments and skin and things like that. That's another topic, but there you go. That's just the most basic way the actual tool works.